15th chapter. Jesus said, "As the Father has loved me, so I have loved you. Abide in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. I have said these things to you so that my joy may be in you, and my joy may be complete. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. No one has greater love than this, than to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do whatever I command you. I do not call you servants any longer, because the servant does not know what the master is doing. But I have called you friends, because I have made known to you everything that I have heard from my Father. You did not choose me, but I chose you, and appointed you to go and bear fruit, fruit that will last, so that the Father will give you whatever you ask him in my name. I'm giving you these commands so that you may love one another." The Gospel of the Lord.
Thanks be to you.
Today begins the run-up to the big game, the week when Super Bowl hype goes full throttle. For those of us whose team's chances of making the Super Bowl grew shorter and shorter as the days grew colder and colder, the only thing left for us are the commercials. The funniest, the unfunniest, the most bizarre, the ones we don't understand at all. Most years after the game, unless it has a fantastic finish, and very few Super Bowls in my memory have, what we will talk about most around the water cooler are the commercials. For those of us who watch a lot of sports on television, what makes Super Bowl commercials great is that they are new. Because of our demographics, sports fans see the same commercials over and over again until they are burned in our brain. Few stand out, but one does seem appropriate for this day. You've probably seen it. The couple is sitting in an upscale saloon. The woman reaches deep down within herself to say to her boyfriend, "You know, I really love you." The boyfriend smiles a stupid male smile and then tries to respond in kind. But the word love refuses to come out of his mouth. The first time, his girlfriend responds, "How cute." By the 7th time, she's beginning to lose her patience. Then the waitress interrupts and asks him if he would like another one of his favorite brews. And he says, without any struggle whatsoever, "I'd love one." His girlfriend's sweet, understanding smile turns into a scowl, and the poor sap continues to struggle to say the word love until the commercial fades to an end. And one assumes so does their relationship. The conclusion for most women is obvious. Men are jerks. Most men probably feel for the guy because they have been in his place, trying to say the L word and just not being able to. Theologians look at the commercial and say what everybody knows. Love is hard work. I think that's why Jesus gave it as a commandment. Love one another as I have loved you. Some say this is the 11th commandment. It is for sure the only commandment Jesus gives us. And frankly, I think we would have been far, far better off with the original 10. Personally, we may do pretty well with those on any given day, keeping perhaps 7 out of 10 for a gentleman's C. But this loving business is hard work. We can talk about love easily when it relates to our house, car, our job, our pets. Sometimes, depending on how they have been behaving, our relatives. But when it turns to the warm feeling we have inside when we are with that special person, we clam up. Or, if you're like me, when another person goes all gushy on you and gets teary-eyed over the love of their lives, all I want to say is, so who do you think, Colts or Saints? The problem is Jesus keeps calling us, commanding us really, to love one another. The church has not always been good at doing that. St. Paul's letter to the Corinthians, read at countless weddings, was prompted by a situation that was less than romantic. The members of the church at Corinth may have loved a lot of things, but they did not love each other. They may have loved fighting with each other, but loving or even liking each other was not their strong suit. Only the church in the 21st century has found more things to fight about than they did. Or worse yet, we're fighting about the same things they did. Communion practices, what one should wear in church, how one should behave, sexual orientation, race, nationality, you name it, we fought about it. Many of Jesus' admirers believe that if the church is indeed the bride of Christ, he married far beneath his station. St. Paul wants to show us a more excellent way. And throughout his poetic discourse, he used the same Greek word that Jesus uses in his commandments, agape. It's a huge way of looking at love that doesn't have a parallel in the English language. The love that Jesus and St. Paul are talking about doesn't have much to do with feelings at all, but rather with how we relate to one another. It's a way of relating that regards the needs of others and the community above our own.